The Yankees pulled off a rebuild in one singular year. They were barely above 500 just one season ago. With almost no superstars all year long, they were one of the most average teams in baseball.
I think when you're playing bad, and we are playing as bad as you can possibly be playing, it looks like that. I know they urgently want to get on track, but I also know that we suck right now, as bad as you can be.
As for behind the scenes, the roster was about to undergo major changes. But a rebuild often takes a lot of time to see big results. So in 2024, what was it the Yankees did to accelerate their rebuild? Was it their record-spending payroll, or have the Yankees come up with a new plan to win games? And to understand this process, we need to go back to their historical 2022 season. We all know the Yankees haven't won a World Series in over 10 years. However, 2022 would be their best shot to win it, as their best player, Aaron Judge, was on the cusp of the most iconic season in MLB history. Judge had power unlike any other. He was 6'7", and had the ability to hit any ball out of the ballpark.
Deep to left. There it goes. He's run away from Ruth.
Every Yankee fan was just patiently waiting for the moment that Aaron Judge broke their franchise home run record and hit his 62nd home run. Up until the very end of the regular season, he led the Yankees to becoming a 99-win team, winning their division with the most home runs in baseball, and being a top 3 scoring team in MLB. The team's success was magnificent, but Aaron Judge's individual success was even cooler. He would have the most home runs in a single season ever by a player not taking steroids, and only a day before their season ended, this would happen.
High fly ball. Deep left. There it goes. Soaring into history. He's done it. He has done it. Case closed.
Judge was the best player in baseball, playing on one of the best teams in the entire league. As great as everything was going for the team, the Yankees were still facing one major problem headed into the playoffs, which was simply the team's inability to succeed in the postseason. As from 2010 to 2021, they had a negative record in the playoffs at 28-31, with the offense batting for a .225 average and only a .695 OPS. However, they have made 5 championship series appearances since winning that World Series in 2009. And in 2022, they would make their 6th championship appearance in 12 total years.
And the Yankees now go to the American League Championship Series.
But right after beating the Guardians, entering this championship appearance, they would have their worst performance yet, getting swept in the series, winning 0 games, and being sent home.
They got outclassed. They didn't just get beaten, they got beaten down.
After this beatdown, the Yankees went out and spent a record $573 million on signing free agents, including a mega contract with Aaron Judge and a new superstar pitcher in Carlos Rodon, landing down in the Bronx.
The Yankees, according to multiple reports, in agreement with free agent pitcher Carlos Rodon on a 6-year deal.
A 99-win team adding a superstar pitcher made it seem like the Yankees were primed to be great in 2023. But just halfway through the season, it became clear that this was the absolute worst Yankees team in 30 years.
You know, it's been a disaster this season. And yeah, it's definitely a shock.
This team is historically.
By the end of July, the Yankees were 5 games below 500 at 51-56. But to understand how everything went wrong, we need to go back to the beginning of the season. As before the Yankee season even began, starting pitcher Frankie Montas would undergo season-ending shoulder surgery, and later on, they would also lose their $162 million pitcher, Carlos Rodon, as he would suffer a muscle strain in his left forearm. According to general manager Brian Cashman, in a perfect world, Rodon would return to the team sometime in April. But as the season began and the team actually entered April, it became clear Rodon wasn't coming back, and other problems would also arise, including another injury, as Giancarlo Stanton would suffer a hamstring problem that would keep him out anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. And then, the poor performances began to strike, like rookie Anthony Volpe's poor performance, as he would bat under 200 as the team's starting shortstop. Ultimately, they would make it out of April with a 15-14 record, ranked 4th place in the AL East division. But the absolute worst was yet to come.
Crack down the line. Back to the corner goes Judge. It is caught by Aaron Judge.
After destroying the Dodgers bullpen door, he made the catch, but it came with a consequence. He injured his toe in the process of making this catch, resulting in him missing an extensive amount of time, with the possibility of his toe being permanently damaged. This injury is what indefinitely ended the Yankees' 2023 season for good. Without Aaron Judge, the team had a record of 25-31 with only one singular Yankee batting league average with a 100 OPS plus. But even after Aaron Judge came back in July, it was too late.
9 losses in a row. 9 freaking losses!
Their 9-game losing streak in August would be their worst stretch of their season. The worst part about it was that 2 of their losses in that span came from their rival, the Boston Red Sox.
You've now lost 8 of 9 this season to the Red Sox.
Yeah, they've kicked our ass.
By the end of the season, fans wanted to see a completely new regime take over the Yankees, including even the owner.
Al Steinbrenner, the Steinbrenner family.
As well as even general manager Brian Cashman.
I want to thank Brian Cashman in the front office.
The team's record finished at 82-80, good for their worst record in 30 years, with a bottom 6 offense in all of baseball. Fans wanted to see change in the organization immediately. Cashman won 4 World Series in his first 11 years as general manager, but it's been a very long 15 years since his last one. One of the key reasons for his consistent failure has been his inability to acknowledge the Yankees' weaknesses.
But I think we're pretty good, personally. And I'm proud of our people, and I'm also looking forward to 24 being a better year than 23.
He called the Yankees pretty effing good, end quote, which once again caused commotion among every Yankee fan. While he may not have flat out admitted the team's many weaknesses, he would begin addressing them behind the scenes, starting with his first major move of the offseason, which was hiring an analytical company to go ahead and teach the Yankees' analytical team. The company, Zealous Analytics, they're responsible for teaching some of the best analytical teams in baseball. But most notably, they began working with the LA Dodgers in 2019 to completely reinvent the way that they looked into analytics. And around the same time in 2019, Zealous also began working with the Tampa Bay Rays. 1 year later, these two teams would find themselves in the World Series against one another, showing that this type of impact would be exactly what the Yankees needed on the field. Zealous would impact analytics from player performances, in-game decisions, player acquisitions, and even injury prevention. All of those are problems that the 2023 Yankees dealt with and would now have solutions for them in 2024. But most importantly, what was Brian Cashman's true plan with this roster? To understand, we need to look back on the few bright spots in the Yankees in 2023. Overall, Aaron Judge was a beast when he was healthy. Anthony Volpe won a Gold Glove as a rookie, and Jason Dominguez showed flashes of being a star, and Garrett Cole was arguably the best pitcher in all of baseball. But they needed to satisfy 2 major goals in the offseason. The first major goal was to add a superstar who could hit alongside Aaron Judge in their lineup, and they felt that they were close to acquiring Padres star Juan Soto. But before trading for him, a rare divisional trade between the Yankees and the Red Sox would happen.
Not common trade partners. Alex Verdugo going to the Yankees, so a crowded outfield could even get more crowded.
Adding Verdugo gave the Yankees an outfield of Judge, Verdugo, potentially Soto, and Dominguez whenever he came back from his injury. Verdugo would be able to provide a solid bat, good defense, and overall be a good player for the New York Yankees. But Juan Soto was the true prize that the team was eyeing.
Juan Soto has been mentioned quite a bit. He was in the Bronx with the Padres playing. What makes him such a dynamic player, a game changer?
I mean, obviously, he's an impact bat, one of the best hitters in the game.
Brian Cashman was working through a trade that would make Juan Soto a New York Yankee, automatically a game changer that they could plug into the lineup as a lefty bat, as he led MLB in walks last year, had 35 homers, and was 56% more productive than the average MLB player.
We're talking about a 3-time All-Star, a 4-time Silver Slugger, a former batting champion, a former World Series champion. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about a brother that has been walked more than he has struck out. We're talking about a 1-2 punch of him and the Judge himself.
There was no doubt that he would change this team immediately, but there was still one major problem. how much would Juan Soto cost?
According to our Jim Bowden, New York is sending pitchers Michael King, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, number 5 prospect and pitcher Drew Thorpe, along with catcher Kyle Higashioka in exchange for Soto.
They traded 4 different pitchers, a catcher, all to add Juan Soto and speedy outfielder Trent Grisham, giving New York one of the best lineup duos in baseball with Soto and Judge. So by this point, 2 major goals of the offseason were now complete, but their offseason was far from over and the team still needed much more, which brought them into a heated 3-team race with the Mets and the Dodgers to acquire Japanese star Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yoshinobu had an earned run average below 2 for 3 straight seasons. He won the Sawamura Award 3 times in Japan, which is the equivalent of MLB Cy Young Award, meaning he was the best pitcher in Japan on 3 different occasions. Now, the career moment that attracted the Yankees to Yamamoto was his no-hitter thrown on September 9th, 2023 that he threw in front of Yankees GM Brian Cashman, who got to watch it front row. But the Yankees clearly weren't the only team that wanted him. The richest owner in baseball, Steve Cohen, who owns the Mets, had dinner with Yamamoto, with reports coming out that the Mets and the Giants could offer a $250 million deal. Plus, the LA Dodgers were in a major pursuit to sign the superstar, prepared to offer him $250 million. As for the Yankees,
and the Yankees remain very much in it, very much involved in trying to sign a player who they've coveted for several months.
The Yankees even said that they gave Yamamoto his own jersey and that it was his if he wanted it. But not very long after that, this happened.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 12-year, $325 million contract with the Dodgers.
The Dodgers were the one that unsurprisingly got it done, landing 2 Japanese superstars in one offseason with Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto. The Yankees missed out for several reasons, but price was one of the main things.
The Dodgers, Yankees, and Mets pushed to $300 million. Then the Dodgers and Mets elevated to $325. While the Yankees coveted the player, they felt $300 million was a generous final offer.
Secondly, they didn't believe that anyone should have a bigger deal than Garrett Cole. One Yankee fan would reply to that and say that 2019 was 4 years ago, Grandpa. Contract values go up. And ultimately, failing to land Yamamoto would bite back very hard.
According to John Heyman, Garrett Cole will be out at least 1 to 2 months.
Can you at this point maybe pinpoint a timeline when you can be back on a mound?
No.
Too soon, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to take it one step at a time.
The rotation was now down to Rodon, Cortez, Schmidt, Gill, and an open 5th spot. Clearly meaning if the team wanted to be competitive, they would have to sign at least one more pitcher.
There it is. The Yankees have signed Marcus Stroman to a 2-year deal and an option.
Marcus Stroman on a 2-year deal worth $37 million was a very good one, as he had a career ERA of .365 headed into the 2024 season. This would complete their offseason, giving them Soto, Stroman, Verdugo, and a brand new analytical system all in the span of only a few months. But even with the Yankees' new talent, their main AL East opponent, the Orioles, added one of the best pitchers in baseball on top of a 100-win team. The only thing that was left was to see the actual result on the baseball field. But quickly, we would learn negative news regarding Judge and his toe injury from 2023.
Well, Aaron Judge's toe injury is healed, but it could have lingering effects for the rest of his career.
But would it actually matter? The answer is no.
And Judge takes advantage. High, deep, and gone!
Juan Soto and Aaron Judge hitting back-to-back turned into a literal cheat code. They both ranked top 4 in OPS, slugging, on-base percentage, walks, RBI, and runs scored. They both ranked top 10 in average, hits, and home runs. But we knew that these two were going to be superstars, so what about the entire team altogether?
And the New York Yankees are the first team in baseball to 50 wins in 2024.
New York had a team record of 50 wins and 22 losses by June 14th, whereas in 2023, their record was 39-40 to this point. The most interesting part in all of this has been seeing young Yankee players make a leap into becoming a star. Most notably is pitcher Luis Gil, who missed all of 2023 with Tommy John and returned in 2024 with an ERA just above 2 and has performed as the team's very best pitcher. Or we could even talk about Anthony Volpe's 21-game-long hit streak, only missing 1 away from the Yankees franchise record. Key acquisitions like Alex Verdugo and Marcus Stroman were also playing at very high levels. But two of the most major performances came from Carlos Rodon and Giancarlo Stanton playing up to their huge contracts. Rodon pitched a .293 ERA, and Stanton had 18 homers. However, this was the Yankees at their absolute peak, and it was all about to crumble right in front of their eyes, beginning their worst stretch of the year.
The magical ride rolls on.
The Yankees' magic quickly faded after their June 14th win. They would lose Game 2 to the Red Sox, but Game 3 would break records and become historically terrible for the Yankees. Why? Because they learned that they do not have a true catcher behind the plate.
Stolen base for Dom Smith.
Hamilton goes, Trevino again, had trouble on the transfer, and right now the Red Sox are running wild against the Yankees.
The Red Sox stole a franchise record 9 bases against the Yankees in one singular game. Jose Trevino was not good enough for them at catcher.
Jose, how frustrating is a night like tonight when they're that aggressive on the base pass?
Yeah, I think any night you don't win a ball game, it's frustrating, but especially tonight, got to make better throws, got to get the ball out.
Trevino was devastated.
You put more of that on yourself tonight? Is that a team thing?
No, myself.
Not only is he a liability defensively, but also offensively, he ranks slightly below the average MLB player. And ultimately, the Yankees would leave Boston with a record of 50-24, and things only continue to fall from here.
Watch the landing on that hand, that right hand, grabs it immediately as soon as he starts to roll.
And Boone made a signal to suggest that Rizzo's coming out of the game, and he is.
First baseman Anthony Rizzo got hurt, and only a few days later, designated hitter Giancarlo Stanton would go down with an injury, expected to sideline him for an entire month. But the good thing was that players like pitcher Garrett Cole and outfielder Jason Dominguez were about to return from their injuries. Well, right before Jason Dominguez got injured once again, setting not only the team back, but also himself. By June 25th, the team's record was now 52-28, and they were 1-4 in their last 5 games. But luckily, Garrett Cole would be on the mound to make his second start of the year since returning from his injury. In his first game, he pitched 4 innings, giving up 1 run and striking out several different players. But June 25th against the Mets would be a completely different story.
Only the second time in his career that Cole has given up as many as 4 home runs in a game.
Garrett Cole pitched 4 innings, giving up 6 runs, 7 hits, 4 walks, and 0 strikeouts. His off-speed pitches worked very well, but his fastball was an utter disaster, peaking at 98 miles an hour in the first inning, crashing to 91 miles an hour in the second inning, where a home run was hit, and then only 2 batters later, another home run happened off the fastball at 93 miles an hour. He's going to be getting better the more he pitches, but the Yankees needed him to be great almost right away, as their pitching has taken a drastic fall in recent weeks, with 2 bad outings in a row from Luis Gil and 3 terrible outings in a row from Carlos Rodon. And then you have the bullpen, that ranked bottom 5 in bullpen ERA for the month of June. But there's one more major role playing into the team's June slump, which is simply the Yankees' failure of an infield. Outside of Anthony Volpe, their infield is filled with players who cannot hit a baseball. For example, starting third baseman DJ LeMahieu is batting below 200. Their catcher Trevino is batting 245, and second baseman Gleyber Torres is batting 223. Or even look at Anthony Rizzo, who of course is injured, but was batting 223 before his injury. And as for the infield defense, Gleyber Torres currently leads the AL in errors, meaning that Soto, Judge, and Volpe were the only ones carrying their own weight in the lineup for the month of June. They would finish this month with an overall record of 54-32, which was severely underwhelming considering that they were 40-19 entering the month of June. But little did the Yankees know, the beginning of July wouldn't be any better. They would open the month by getting swept by the Cincinnati Reds to later lose another series to the Boston Red Sox. We'll find out after the All-Star break whether they are pretenders or contenders.